Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. Today, we have yet another special guest on the show, following up from the episode that we did with Bill Blaze, the other side of what was ECCM, but is now going to be NoCoast New England and an exciting new venture. Matt McCann, what's happening, man?
What's going on, my friend? Thank you very much for having me on.
I appreciate it, man. I've been following the league for a while, and it's especially since guys like Cannell and Mackenzie have been coming over. It kind of got me really interested in the scene there. So it's
Oh
great to
yeah,
have yourself on. But how did it all begin for you then?
sure. Well, so for me, uh, I got interested in battle rap not until I was like 30. My older son just turned 10. Soon after he was born, you find yourself when you have young children not really leaving the house much, and started going down these rabbit holes on YouTube. Found Kid Twist, found Pat Stay, Holohan. King of the Dot was my real entryway in as a fan. And I remained that, almost purely a fan for the next 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
And then kind of made that transition to still first and foremost a fan, but now having some more active role, in the culture, which has been really awesome.
Nice. And what made you join forces with the ECCM project in particular then? Because you're from New York, so it must be a few hours away from you to kind of make it to most of the events with themselves. What led to you kind of joining forces with them?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So the reality is, because of that distance, I don't get to a lot of the live events.
Okay.
But we predated any geography, so we kind of Blaze Wojak, who's down south, and myself and Jay Scott, who are both on Long Island. Blaze is obviously in Massachusetts. White Shadow, rest in peace, is also I forget if he was Rhode Island or Massachusetts, right on that border. New Hampshire, there's a bunch of states that come together. So we were not, as it started coming together, strictly a New England group.
Okay.
But we were like-minded individuals that found ourselves, continuously having a lot of fun in Cat Mob, but really wanting to do something bigger than just a social group. Cat Mob was great for what it was, but it wasn't, what we wanted to contribute to the scene.
Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, the journey with ECCM has been really fun to watch. Like me personally, I've got to a point with battle rap now where the leagues that I enjoy watching the most are the leagues where the atmosphere at the events comes across as more of a party atmosphere with battles happening as opposed to just a regular battle event.
Right.
I think that's something that ECCM has done really well. Like it's been fun to see, and you've built like a really talented roster.
Yeah, it's like a big dysfunctional family, but most of us really love each other, and I think that vibe really comes through. And that's what it all boils down to. I mean, Blaze is like a brother to me. No cap. Like we've known each other now for like 4 and change. Like we help each other with real life shit. That's where we are. And other people that have come into the fold, like TJ, Piff, you know, CJA as he's become stand out on the roster, Beretta as the champion, kind of moving into the inner circle. You know, we look out for each other, you know, in and out of battle rap.
Nice. Yeah, man, and it comes across with the even just on footage, like obviously I've not made it to an event unfortunately, but
We'll make it happen. That's all right.
I like that. Yeah, definitely. I've my long-term plan is at the end of the year I'm hoping to take a couple of months off work and come to the States for a while. So, yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you guys up for to come to an event, and who knows, I maybe even be battling on the card by that point, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely we should talk because, you know, not only obviously ECCM, oh gosh, I've gotten so used to it. Not only No Coast, No England, but, you know, I battle down here in New York is like my league away from my home away from home. And they have tryout cards regularly. So if you're doing a long time in the States and you want to hit up an iBattle event or even do a tryout card down there, I'll put you in touch with Lex Luthor for that.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely something I plan to do. I follow iBattle massively as well, and
Oh God, yeah, they're very. Lex has done amazing stuff with that league.
100%. Yeah, I'm actually going to be getting Lex on the show this week too, which I'm looking forward to. So
Oh, cheers!
that'll be
Nice.
good fun. And I mean, one of the most entertaining things in battle rap right now is his live videos, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I can imagine his rant episode the other day. I mean,
Oh my God, yeah, you and I were talking about that. That was like everyone who wants to know anything about how to run a league or the inner workings of battle rap needs to, you know, pull that up and take notes.
definitely. And I mean, I can imagine you've shared some of his struggles on that front as well. Have you ever had any kind of difficult dealings and things like that?
So not at his level, because he does run a much deeper roster and deals with more, so you know, higher profile names. But you know, yeah, there's been things along the way where Billy and I, Blaze and I should say, are like shaking our heads, like, how are we gonna pull this off? Like, you know, just to like take a page out of what he was saying, what Lex was saying a little bit, like for a league, especially a growing smaller league like ours, to give someone money to come battle is a big fucking deal. That money is coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of Blaze's pocket. It's coming out of Wojak's pocket. It's coming out of us sending a message among people that care about the group to like kick in what they can to make it happen. Flights that I've booked have usually been like using my miles on battlers instead of like trips for my family. And I'm not saying that like woe is me, but you know, there's not like we haven't made any money doing this. Like it's like you know, it's definitely a hobby. I mean, we treat it like professionals, but it's definitely there's not money in it, at least at this level.
No, absolutely. And what I think a lot of people struggle to recognize nowadays is the people that get paid to do this have put their work in and earned their way to the money. Like, you know, there's people like Thesaurus, people like Pat Stay. They weren't always getting paid for this either. People just don't seem to recognize that. It's
Right. They're like journeymen.
Exactly. And people need to focus on building their brand before they make these demands. Like we get it in the UK all the time. I've heard people that have just finished their third battle and then start to make demands for travel to be covered, and these people are barely hitting 1,000 views. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
It's crazy.
I mean, on the flip side of it, like, I don't want to be. It is crazy, and the flip side of it, I don't want to be all like negative, because, you know, I do make sure when I'm at events, or even if I'm not at events, you know, buy the guys drinks, pack smokes, you know, like, let them know, you know, tokens of appreciation. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, someone who has 3 battles and doesn't hit 1,000 views, I mean, they even if they live, like, so you take NoCoast New England, even if they live like within 10 miles of the venue, the chance of them bringing in enough money to cover the cost that they'd be asking for is pretty low, you know?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I mean, for the most part with yourself, I can imagine that a lot of the people that you've booked for ECCM, and that you'll be booking for NoCoast New England in the future, I imagine a lot of the guys are fairly local, right?
Yeah, there's a significant contingent out of the Boston and suburban Boston and like middle of Massachusetts area. And like I said, there are those, the way the border is on the states come in that neck of the woods, like where Blaze lives, you have like a New Hampshire and a Rhode Island, like DK is a good example. I think he's out of New Hampshire. I think Piff is in New Hampshire too, but the state borders are close. But then you'll get guys like El Murder and Bluey and other hungry guys that will come up from New York. And that's always great. And then, you know, when we have folks that we do invest in, like we've had None, and other people, you know, they're coming from significantly far away. Those are usually investments. You know what I mean? Real Deal has now hosted 2 events. I wasn't part of the arrangements on that. I know he is a big fan of the league, and I'm sure whatever he got was less than he was worth to do it. And I'll just say, let me give you one story. So, Real Deal's like become a friend, Trevor. But 3 years ago, my first battle event at ECCM, I performed the first live performance. My opponent didn't show. So I have like no idea what I'm doing. I'm this 37-year-old lawyer with 2 kids. I've got my wife and my 2 kids at a hotel nearby. My sister came with me, you know, and it's on me in front of Real Deal. And I'm just like, holy shit. So needless to say, the performance piece I wound up having a fun time in any event. The performance piece of this was experimental. The organizational piece and the social media piece has been where I've really found I can contribute the most.
Okay. I mean, stepping in a battle ring. So you were essentially rapping at Real Deal then, is that right?
Well, Piff actually stepped in to be the object of my my scorn. We had just met, like, you know, earlier that evening. But yeah, I was rapping for Real Deal. my first and one of my only 2 live performances as a, you know, in the modern era, we'll call it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it must have been terrifying too, right?
Exactly. He's such a good dude, though. He was supportive as hell.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, out of the big names, I mean, he's probably one of the the best to go in front of, I guess. I mean,
Right.
he's very receptive to everything, isn't he? Like he's very seasoned in that sense and knows what to expect. So, and like you said, he's also just an incredibly sound guy as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's like he's the real he's the real deal, man. Like,
He is.
you
Agreed.
meet him and it's like bet real like regular dude, but then has this phenomenal talent. And it's just one of the many people I've been blessed to come across in this culture. That's I'm so grateful, man. It's just been like a real and there's so many negatives. We could fill 2 hours talking about the negatives, but there's been so many positives and so many great solid people. Like Organic is another guy that I've gotten to know all over the years, and I got to really have some great chats with Bender, and that loss was terrible for his family, and so tough for the battle rap community, and I took it real personal too. He was a guy that I really jived with, like on an intellectual and creative level, and has a lot of respect for him, but we kind of developed respect as men too.
Sure. Yeah, a huge loss, and one of
Totally.
my all-time favorites as well. It's not even just battle-wise either, like music-wise too. Like
Oh yeah.
the flight distance stuff is still something that I play really regularly. Like I love it. So it was.
Me too. The flight distance. It's the one with the Siamese skull. The album I'm talking about. And in any event, yeah. High Priest of the Low Life, or low, whatever it is. It's like I listen to that all the time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. It's incredible, and I do feel quite lucky in a sense. Like I've got to see Bender live a couple of times, but normally in giant venues where the battlers kind of come off stage and go straight into a green room type thing. But
Gotcha.
I got to see him versus Frankie Fraser in a quite a small London venue that there was only about 80 people there. So
that was a great battle.
Incredible, yeah. I love that battle. It's still one of my favourites that I've seen live too. So yeah, got very lucky and sat down and had a brief chat with him afterwards, and
Nice.
just a lovely bloke. But yeah, and yeah, I mean, it is the best thing about battle rap, right? Like I've been to over 50 events now, I think, and I've never once been to an event like with a friend or anything. I go to every event on my own and just meet new people, have fun. Like it's such an open scene in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much positive energy out there if you're seeking it. I've done. Trying to think. The one event that I went to solo and had such a blast was the when Murder Mook came back against Averb.
Okay.
That was a huge RBE event, and I just had like randomly my wife and kids were out of town that weekend, so I hopped in my car, drove into the city, parked like across the street from the venue, and it was said to be sold out. So I just walked up and I was like, listen, I drove him from, from Queens. You guys have any tickets? And they're like, yeah, bet. And then I met like 15 of my rap battle idols just like walking around,
Amazing. That's so cool, man. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I really do love it. And I mean, the negative side of battle rap tends to come away from events as well. It's more the online forums and things like that for the most part, especially here in the UK anyway. But
yeah, no, I think that's right. And I think that's partially because people are a lot tougher behind a computer screen and a keyboard than they are in real life.
definitely. Yeah, unfortunately so. But I mean, with the new venture then, so with NoCoast, like it's gonna bring a lot more opportunities for the to the table for you guys, right?
I think so. I really do. I mean, No Coast has a 10-year history. They've got some really solid people that, we're friends with. Kelly Betts, Tyler, aka Breakneck, Shake, Ray Myers, DJ Pompey. I mean, they just they put on great events. They've built such a great reputation as good hosts, and they've drawn some real talent. And yeah, I think getting our guys on their page is going to be big. And there. And I know Billy talked about it, so I won't like rehash the whole thing. But we had a connection with No Coast from Jump Street, right? Like at our first event, Breakneck battled, Shake battled, and then there was at least one or two other No Coast Wisdom, and I'm probably forgetting, like on the card. So like they came out, they were like, "You guys are doing your thing, bet we'll be there." They flew out, from the Midwest and helped us launch, and have had our back since before we even started.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it, man. And I mean, the league just fits the no coast narrative really well as well, doesn't it? It's such a natural fit.
Oh yeah, I definitely like when I heard about it, because I mean that's the other thing. I'll be frank about. I mean, listen, the Billy has this league on his broad shoulders, and I help out where I can, and there are other folks that do the same. So like when I heard about it from him, it was certainly before we made the announcement. But again, it's like something that he worked on. I was just so jazzed about it. I was like, oh, this is like, I didn't have one negative thing to say when he told me about it. You know what I mean?
Can imagine.
I was like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense.
Nice. And I mean, I think it offers a lot more opportunity, but I mean, kind of outside of the division too. I mean, with the No Coast UK announcement as well. Like I've been quite heavily pushing for those guys to book the likes of CJA and Beretta Broke and people like that. I think they'd go down really well in the UK. I think they'd like become big fan favourites in terms of the no coast environment. So I think
that could be a good fit. I think CJA would definitely, and they're both. So when I make this distinction, it's no shade either way. I think CJA would definitely make the transition. Beretta can to the UK crowd for sure, but he'd probably have to tweak a few things. He's got a very. I mean, I think he's fantastic, and he's like a little brother to me. But he definitely has a regional style, an East Coast style, I would say. Whereas I see CJA as more of like a universal style. So I think for Beretta to shine, he'd probably need to sit down and think about reconfiguring a bit. But yeah, either one of those guys and deeper into the roster would love to see, abroad for sure.
Definitely.
And, two great talents, two great friends. I'd like to see them vie for the title of No Coast New England. And I think just they have different tools and different skills, and CJA would make an easier transition, in my opinion, to the UK market. But Beretta, with some adjustments, could probably kill it there. So I'd love to see them both. I mean, I want nothing but the best for all these guys. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Definitely, man. And I completely agree with the Beretta versus CJA title match as well. I think that's just the perfect matchup for both of them too. So I'd definitely like to see that. And I think with Beretta coming to the UK, I think he'd adapt a lot easier than comes across. I can see what you mean, that he has that kind of that East Coast style, but
Right.
we've had a couple of guys that I would say are fairly similar on that front over the years, and they've always had a really good reception. I think one of the best things about the UK crowd is we're kind of ready to react to any style of battler. So, I mean, that was quite a heavy criticism of Lotta Zay before Lotta Zay came here. A lot of people said that we weren't going to be able to kind of get on board with his style, but him versus Mr. E was phenomenal, and he got a great reaction here. So I think Beretta Broke would receive kind of the same treatment on that front.
All right, then we're gonna start putting our funds together.
Let's do it. I like it. But yeah, I'd love to see them both on NoCoast UK at some point. Anyway, it'd be great to see, man. But like, you guys are already planning another event so it will be the first NoCoast event, essentially. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Blaze is always thinking like a couple cards ahead. He yeah, so we had a card that got canceled. There were some matchups from that, I think, that are going to be on this card, but then dynamics changed too, and so it's not just that card that was supposed to happen in early April just happening later. It's a reconfigured card, and it is exciting. Our first event coming out of the gate after joining the NoCoast family will be leading the charge, but at the same time doing so sensibly, with having the battles really at a location where it's going to be probably just Blaze hosting, and then the battlers and everyone else keeping their distance. We want to keep the momentum going, but we also want to put safety first.
Definitely, that makes sense, man. And it's great to see that you guys are still able to do events though, and I think that's going to be a big success. It's going to be, is it next week?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's come around quick, actually. Yeah, it'll be.
All these weeks are blending into one another.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're working, eating, sleeping, taking care of your kids, being a teacher, helping run a battle rap league, all under one roof.
Can imagine. Yeah, man. It's actually this Sunday, the event. I think it's
that's right.
24th.
Right. Which is Memorial Day weekend here in the States, which is like the kickoff to summer. What that'll look like this year, I don't know.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I hope that event is a success, and it's a very interesting card. I'm guessing the Beretta Broke versus Diz battle isn't. It's not a title match, right?
That's correct.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's a good card. I can't wait to see the battles drop from that. That'll be really good to see. But I'm
yeah. Oh, and just a quick plug is that we're gonna have those up through the NoCoast Patreon, like either same day or next day.
Okay, perfect. That's great stuff. That's given me the reminder I needed to subscribe to the NoCoast Patreon as well. So
Yeah,
I'll make
shout
sure
out.
I do that straight
Yeah,
after.
definitely do that. We discontinued the ECCM one, so folks could, you know, put their money towards the No Coast one, and they're gonna get a lot more content, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting times both for yourselves and NoCoast, man. I'm really looking forward to it. But apart from that, do you have any plans yourself to step back in the ring anytime soon?
So for the April card that didn't go down, I was gonna battle. We're gonna like sort of bill it as the grumpy old men. It was gonna be me versus guy, producer by the name of Bloody Knuckles, um, real name Jeremy, and we were gonna do a one round. I wrote that round, and I liked it. But I don't think I can justify traveling out of state at this point. So um, it's TBD, man. You know,
Sure.
we talked a little about earlier on. I had that really kind of like terrifying / awesome experience of having the first time for real deal. My second time was on iBattle. It was an absolute unmitigated disaster. Um, but you know, sometimes you need those to learn where your strengths and your weaknesses are, and that taught me that you can love this sport, and you can have a role in it, but it may not be as a performer. Um, so that was humbling at age 39. But then again, I wouldn't say no to a friendly one rounder. Um, almost like a compliment battle type thing, just to like have fun.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I've got to focus my energies on how to help the league best, and it's not in the ring.
Okay, that makes sense. So we don't need to expect you going for the title anytime soon, then.
No. That's a hard no.
I could appreciate that, man. But yeah, it'd be fun to see you do, like you said, a one rounder again.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got material written too, that'd be good to see. But apart from that, like long term, I'm guessing that the events are planned to be getting on a bit of a wider scale now with the No Coast merger as well, which has got to be exciting. But is
Yeah.
there plans for kind of an event of, say, one division versus another that will go down in New England at all, or is that something you think you'll get to at a later stage?
Yeah, I think we had, again, everything is sort of staggered back. But when we thought we were going to have this card in early April, something that we were aiming for the summer was to bring a gang of guys out to the Midwest from New England and get as many interleague matchups going as possible. The pause button is obviously hit on a lot of that, but I think it's a pause button and not a stop. I think it's something that we can realistically see in the fall. But,
Sure.
We'll have to see, man. So much stuff out of our control these days,
Oh,
even more than
definitely.
usual.
Yeah, of course, man. But I mean, there's so many great matchups that could come of it as well. I was
Oh, yeah.
rewatching XQZ versus XLV yesterday, and it kind of just came to me that XLV versus Beretta Broke would be really good to see, and
Yeah, that would be fire.
I'd love to see Rowe versus Bacon too. I think that'd be great.
Oh,
But
my God. Yeah. Bacon, oh, big fan of that dude. I was sleeping on him, like not. I was really sleeping on him, like I didn't even know who he was, until late 2019. First battle I saw of his was versus CJA, and I watched for CJA, and I was like, wow. Like, my favorite part there was when Bacon was like, actually, this is what guns really look like. This is what guns do. Like, I know, you're trying to be a tough guy, but I actually know about guns. And like, I was like, man, he totally, and CGA is my boy, and he had a good performance, a very CJA performance, but the way Bacon flipped it on him, I was like, dude, that was dope. And like, him and I have been chatting it up ever since.
Yeah, definitely. I've become a big fan too, and I slept on him for a long time as well, unfortunately. I think the first battle I saw of his was Memo, which was about this time last year, but
All right.
yeah,
So
very,
you're still
very
about
good.
9 months ahead of me.
Right. But yeah, the CJA battle was phenomenal from both of them, so I enjoyed that a
Totally.
lot. But yeah, man, I mean, apart from that, is there anything else that you I know you're pretty pressed for time and stuff, you're still super busy, but is there anything that you wanted to plug on the show apart from No Coast at all? Any other projects or any links
Mm.
that you want in the description?
Just like a couple things would be, for not so much for me. Obviously, follow us on Twitter at ECCM_. We haven't yet changed the handle to No Coast New England, but it is the name. So we still have the ECCM handle. Follow me on Twitter at MCPM1. And then I would just say, like, check out Red Flag. His group Penultimate came out with an album recently. Really solid.
Yeah, definitely.
And who else? Oh, and then just hashtag Justice for Charlie, as Real Deal continues to try to figure out a legal and moral way to bring the hospital and the doctors who were accountable for his dad's passing. I mean, he's very passionate about that, so I want to support him on any platform I can.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. And I'll add the links to the description for those two because I hope he gets the resolve that he needs as soon as
Yeah,
possible. But yeah, apart from that, man, again, thank you very much for coming on. As I said, I know you're super busy, so it's been a pleasure
yeah,
to chop it up. And fingers
absolute pleasure,
crossed,
man.
get to see you at an event sometime soon.
Yeah, man, that would be wonderful. It's been you're a gentleman and a scholar, and it's been a true pleasure.
Same to yourself, man. But yeah, thanks again, and stay safe over there, man. Take care.
Same to you, brother. Peace.
Peace, man.